Good morning, guys. This is weekly update number 7. It's morning. It's pretty early. The kids are still asleep, so I have to get this video done like really quickly before they wake up, and I gotta take the toddler off to preschool. And then the construction guys show up and they get really loud, so this is my tiny window of time to get this in here. But we did a lot of big things this week. Exciting things have happened. Let me see, we picked out our granite last week. We did a weekend vlog, I think, where you guys saw us picking out the granite. We picked out 2 slabs of granite. I guess we need a lot of granite. I didn't think we would need 2 whole slabs. I was like, oh, 1 will probably cover it, but we're doing the whole kitchen, the island, and then the wet bar downstairs, so we do need quite a bit of granite. But that was a fun process. Brian and I got to drive down to Seattle together and have a little alone time, which doesn't happen very often when you've got 2 kids, so we kind of enjoyed that. It was fun. Let me see, and then when we got back, I think that night, we started to clean out half of the kitchen where the uppers are on the long side. We took out everything out of the cabinets. I guess we took out the lowers too. We took everything out of the lowers. That was Saturday night after we got back from the granite place. And then on Sunday, we went ahead and just demoed almost the whole wall of that kitchen. We left the dishwasher in the sink because I need my dishwasher and my sink. I wasn't about to give those up until I have to. We also left the oven on the other side and the fridge. So I'm missing a bunch of cabinets. Those are just, all the contents of my kitchen are stacked up on the hearth in the living room now. And let's see, I won't have cabinets for a while, but that's okay. I'm basically just like running back and forth to the living room and the kitchen when I'm cooking. But I've got a pretty good system now. I kind of know where all my necessary things are, you know, for cooking, like my mixing spoons and my bowls and things. So it's not been too bad so far. It's gonna get real rough when we have to lose the sink and the oven, but I'm hoping we won't be without them for too long. A big thing happened. Well, I know you guys were expecting the cabinets to come on Monday, and so were we, but I was sitting there on Monday morning going, oh, I'm sure they'll be here like any second, and Brian texted me and said, oh, the cabinet people just called and said that they've been delayed and they're going to be delayed out another week, so we won't get them till next Monday. So we were kind of upset about that. We were like, oh, it doesn't really matter because he can't put them in this week, the contractor, but we were just excited to see them, so a little disappointing. And then the carrier people called him on Tuesday and said, well, do you want your cabinets tomorrow? Because we can fit them on this next truck. So we ended up getting them on Wednesday, which was yesterday, which was really fun. Pretty exciting. It was like, I'm sitting there, my contractor's like checking off all the numbers as they bring in these cabinets. And, you know, I was looking at the living room and there's a pretty big stack in there. And I was like, so what's your list looking like, Mick? Is that it? Like, we're pretty much done now, right? He's like, well, let me see. He's like, no, we still have 16 left. And I was like, what? Because I guess we got a lot of cabinets. Again, like the granite. I don't know why my head is not processing that we just got like a ton of stuff, because we have a fairly large kitchen plus a wet bar. So the living room is stacked literally floor to ceiling high with cabinets. Like that, that other half of my living room, there is no room left. You can walk, there's like a tiny walkway, but there's just cabinets everywhere. And then we have 2 Lazy Susans. We have one for the upstairs and one for the downstairs. Those are the corner pieces for the L shapes. And those things don't fit through the living room doors, so they're huge and they're sitting in the kitchen right now. But, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. So we're just, you know, my little clean freakness is like, ah! But I'm getting through it, and we're just walking around the cabinets, and I'm just dealing with the mess, and it's like, it'll be okay. This is gonna be over soon. So Mick's like, yeah, he's like, I think I'll try and start putting your cabinets in maybe next week. So that would be exciting. Our electrician is coming back Friday, tomorrow. Yeah, gosh, I guess that is tomorrow. So before tomorrow, we have to remove ceiling tiles from, or not tiles, but they're boards from the stairwell and from the laundry room so he can put the cans in. He's also getting the basement ready for, we have to have a state inspector come and inspect the electrical to make sure that he did a good job and we're not going to burn the house down, which is good. I feel good about that. So the inspector's got to come in and sign off on all the electrician's work. Also, our Linden inspector that's doing all of the permits for us to make sure we're building everything up to code, he's got to come back, I think Friday or Monday, and he's going to inspect the plumbing, the electrical, all the framing that our contractor did, make sure everything's sound and good to go. So he's coming back pretty soon. So in order to get everything ready for him, the plumbers had to come back. They've been here twice this week already. They ended up, at first we were like, when they said, well, we need to go in the half bath and vent a pipe up there. And then a couple weeks later, Mick's like, I guess they don't need to go up there. So we were like, yay, one less place to touch and a little more money to save. And then the other day they're like, never mind, we need to go there. So we're like, oh, okay. So Brian and I spent some time, I think Tuesday evening, after the kids went to bed, we had to take like a huge square of plaster out of our pretty little half bath that we just redid like 8 months ago maybe. Brian and I just did a little DIY on it ourselves, and so we had to sit there and cut all of our pretty little work out, and we're gonna have to redo it when they leave, but that's okay because it's the venting for the downstairs bathroom. It's directly underneath, so it has to be done. And then they ended up needing to cut, like we cut a little huge, well, a big rectangle out. And we're like, oh, well, that's probably okay. And then they came back yesterday and I heard them like sawing away in there, and they ended up cutting it like floor to ceiling high, like a section this big to run a big thick pipe through all the way up to the roof. They had to go on the roof too. So that's okay. It is what it is. We'll fix it later. That's like the motto for everything. We're like demoing away and it's like, we'll fix it later. At some point this will all be put back together. So anyways, and then tomorrow, which is Friday, I think Mick's gonna try and start framing in the closet in the kids' room, because we had to take it out, if you guys remember, to make a big laundry room. So we're gonna start getting that framed in. And then insulation, I believe, is also coming in next week to go through the whole downstairs. So as far as the project as a whole is going pretty good. We have started to run into that not very fun point where Mick starts to come back and say, well, this is probably going to go over budget, this is going to go over budget. In the beginning it was so nice, everything was coming in under budget, but we knew there would be a point where we would hit a wall and things would start to go over, so here we are. Surprisingly, the insulation is the one that's kind of gone way over, which is weird because, you know, insulation is usually one of the cheaper costs when you're building. So the downstairs is a lot. There's like 1,500 square feet that you have to insulate, but originally Mick thought we would have 700 in for the insulation, and that's what he bid for us. But he's not the insulation guy. He was just doing that off the top of his head. He talked to the guy in the insulation company and he said, oh no, he said costs have gone way up in the last year for insulation. He said you're looking at more like 1,500. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's all right. You know, we've got room in the budget for all these little weird issues that come up. We've got a huge buffer. We did that on purpose so we could pay for these things. So we got our heads wrapped around 1,500, and then yesterday Mick came back and said, got some more bad news regarding that insulation. I guess the Linden building code, they want you to have, instead of R13, they want you to have like R15 or R17. Those are like temperature degrees as far as like how well it insulates the basement. He said those are an extra $500. Like, okay. All right. So insulation has gone from like 700 to potentially, you know, up around 2,000, which was a little bit of a hit to the budget. Also, we are having the hardest time with the natural gas fireplace insert down there. The original one that we were quoted, we didn't really like the look of. It was kind of like a little square metal box type fireplace. We really wanted one of those linear fireplaces that's, you know, just kind of like a short, long, linear fireplace. But, and the heating guy was like, oh, well, yeah, this is the catalog, just go through there, pick one out. So we did. We picked out a linear 45, and he said, oh yeah, that should be pretty comparable in cost. I think they're pretty much the same, you know, the same quality. So the one he quoted for us originally, the little square one that we didn't like, was $2,200. And then Mick came back to me yesterday, and he said, yesterday was a bad day for the budget. And he said, well, I got some bad news. Our heating guy said that that fireplace that you want is actually $4,600. So again, it was like, what? That's not good. That's too bad. So that's like over double what we had budgeted for. So I'm not really sure what we're gonna do about that. Probably going to start shopping around and seeing if we can find a different fireplace, because I don't really know if our little budget can just handle like a $2,000 hit. It could. We do have room. It makes me nervous though, because we still don't have the bills back for the electrician, the plumbing, the heating. You know, the flooring we're going to do ourselves, so we kind of know where that's going to stand, but we still have a lot of unknowns in this project, so I don't want to just say, sure, yeah, an extra $5,000 here, $5,000 there. Those add up, so it makes me nervous to start doing that. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on what we're doing with the fireplace search, but I don't think I think that's about it as far as this week goes. So for next week, we might be tearing out the rest of the kitchen. Mick might be putting in kitchen cabinets. I hope. That would be so exciting. We just like can't hardly stand it. Our fridge should show up from Lowe's. That's a little bit delayed. It was supposed to be here a week ago, and then Brian called yesterday and they said, oh, well, it's shipping now, so it doesn't matter. We don't need the fridge for like 2 months, but and honestly, then I'm gonna have to stick it in the living room, which is like, where am I gonna put it? I don't know. So it's actually probably a good thing. Lowe's can keep the fridge for a while. And the flooring is also showing up next week, which again, I don't know where I'm gonna put that. Like, we don't have a garage anymore because it's stuffed full of things from the basement. The basement's a construction zone. The only place is our living room. So I guess it's gonna get stacked in there somehow. Don't know how. We'll figure it out. Just bunches of boxes of flooring, but it's exciting. It's fun to see like the finished materials finally starting to show up, because basically it's been like rip the house apart, rip the house apart, rip it apart. And it's like, so when is this going to be put back together and look pretty? And we're finally at that point. We're 7 weeks in. We're getting the cabinets here, the granite's been picked out, the flooring's coming, the electrician's gonna be done. So it's fun, it's exciting. We're almost to the halfway mark. I would consider us halfway. I wouldn't say we're even close to being done. We're still probably looking at August, maybe early September before this project is finished, but we're rolling, we're getting there. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. And a great rest of the week and weekend. The weekend vlog is going to be a little funky because Brian is doing inventory this week for work, which means he works all day tomorrow, Friday, which is like 5 in the morning. Usually when he does inventory, he doesn't get back until 10 or 11 at night on Friday. He goes back to work at 5 on Saturday, and he won't be back until like Saturday afternoon to evening. So inventory weekends are always crazy, which is going to put a damper on our demoing and projects. We're going to end up doing all that on Sunday, so it might be kind of a Sunday vlog that you guys see instead of a full weekend vlog, but we will get something out for you guys. So anyways, we will see you guys later. Have a great day, and keep watching and following if you want, and like and subscribe. We'll see you guys later.